Have you ever wondered if the new generation of consoles really brought such superior graphics? Today, I'm going to show you 19 games from the previous generation that still crush it in the graphics department and put many current titles to shame. These games are so realistic that you'll wonder if they were released just this year. So get ready to discover 19 older generation games that continue to impress with their stunning visuals. This is Jax, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel, where I bring you daily content so you won't miss a single detail of the gaming world. If you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd be thrilled. From one gamer to another. Starting our list, we have Metro Exodus, a game that raised the bar for graphics to an impressive level. The richness of visual details, from the war-ravaged environments to the claustrophobic interiors of tunnels, creates an immersive and oppressive atmosphere. The visuals in Metro Exodus are a true spectacle, enveloping you and making each exploration visually breathtaking. The game stands out for using its visuals to create a sense of desolation and isolation that is unique to its narrative. Each location you visit has a distinct visual identity, reinforced by a color palette that perfectly captures the mood of a destroyed world. This attention to visual detail not only enhances the game's aesthetics, but also deepens the narrative, making every new discovery a visually impactful and emotionally engaging experience. In second place, we have Death Stranding, a highly controversial game, as many didn't like its gameplay that strays from conventional gaming norms. But in terms of graphical quality, it's unanimously recognized as one of the most visually stunning games ever created. The level of detail is simply absurd, from the vast, desolate landscapes to the intricate textures of clothing and equipment. You feel the weight of the journey as you traverse almost photorealistic landscapes, where every rock and every raindrop seems tangible. The graphics create a unique atmosphere where realism and the surreal meet, offering a visual experience that few games can match. The gameplay is deeply influenced by these impressive visuals. Imagine walking through rugged terrain, with strong winds and heavy rain making every step more difficult. The realism of the graphics turns this traversal into an even more engaging challenge, where you truly feel the protagonist's struggles. Every graphic detail, from footprints in the mud to water reflections, contributes to the sense of immersion, making each mission feel like a true battle for survival. The game masterfully blends supernatural elements, and this is where Death Stranding shines even brighter, merging the familiar with the unknown in a visually spectacular way. The transitions between the physical and spiritual worlds are smooth and impactful, creating scenes that are etched in your memory. In third place, we have Battlefield 5, which continues to impress with its absolutely stunning visuals. The visual quality is so high that you feel as if you're in the middle of a real war. Every scene, whether it's a city in ruins or a snow-covered battlefield, is rendered with such a level of detail that you forget you're playing a game. Real-time destruction, with buildings collapsing and explosions sending debris everywhere, heightens the sense of chaos and realism. It's a game that shows how graphics can enhance immersion and create an unforgettable gaming experience. When it comes to gameplay, these graphics make all the difference. Imagine advancing through a devastated battlefield, with bullets whizzing past and explosions echoing around you. The level of visual realism increases the tension and player engagement, making every movement feel crucial. The detailed textures and realistic lighting effects make the environment dynamically shift, constantly forcing you to adapt, which makes the experience even more intense and rewarding. Additionally, the realism of the graphics is amplified by dynamic weather effects, which change with each match. One moment you're fighting under a clear sky, the next, a sandstorm or blizzard can completely transform the battlefield. These details not only impress the eyes, but also directly affect gameplay, forcing you to change tactics depending on the conditions. It's this combination of cutting-edge visuals and adaptive gameplay that makes Battlefield 5 one of the most engaging and visually impactful games of its generation. And of course, when we talk about stunning graphics, Red Dead Redemption 2 can't be left out. The game is a visual masterpiece that takes video game graphics to a whole new level. The level of detail is simply phenomenal, with landscapes that look like they've come straight out of a painting. From snow-covered mountains to misty swamps, every scene is crafted with such precision that you find yourself stopping just to admire the view. The lighting effects, like a sunset reflected on the calm waters of a river, are so realistic that it's often hard to believe everything was created digitally. This is one of those games where the graphics aren't just beautiful, they're essential to total immersion in the experience. The game excels in how it uses graphics to create a sense of continuous and authentic life. The changing weather, day and night cycles, and even the smallest interactions with NPCs are all elevated by graphics that seem to defy technological limitations. This attention to detail makes the game world feel alive, vibrant, and always full of new surprises to discover. In fifth place, we have The Last of Us Part 2, a milestone in video game history, especially when it comes to realistic graphics. Every visual detail is meticulously crafted, from the characters' facial expressions to the scars in the post-apocalyptic environment. The level of realism achieved is so high that even the slightest changes in light and shadow affect the game's atmosphere, creating a visual experience that few games can match. It's impressive to see how the world around you reacts dynamically, making every scene feel alive and constantly transforming. The precision of the animations and the fidelity of the visual effects heighten the tension and immersion, especially during the most intense moments of the narrative. The combination of ultra-realistic visuals with tense, engaging gameplay creates an experience that is both visually stunning and emotionally impactful. Additionally, the graphics are masterfully used to tell a deep and emotional story. The characters' facial expressions, captured with almost cinematic precision, convey emotions in a way that few games can match, and this was something that deeply impacted me during gameplay. I'm not just talking about the main characters' expressions, but even the NPCs. You can notice their emotions during combat, whether it's fear, tension, or anger, which adds an incredible level of immersion to the game. Each environment reflects the emotional state of the plot, using the beauty and decay of the world as a powerful backdrop. It's this fusion of cutting-edge graphics with an engaging narrative that places this work at a level of visual excellence that defines a generation. In sixth place, we have Gears 5, one of those games that manages to stand out with graphics that are near perfection. The highly detailed textures and impressive lighting effects create a visually rich and immersive environment. Whether you're exploring dark caves or fighting in open battlefields, every setting is designed with incredible attention to detail, making you feel truly immersed in the game's universe. The visuals are a true evolution, raising the standard for what we expect from an action game. The graphical quality is directly reflected in the gameplay, with a clarity of visual details makes each combat encounter more intense and strategic. The precise definition of environments and enemies allows the player to react quickly and effectively during frantic battles. The real-time destruction effects and fluid animations heighten the sense of chaos and adrenaline, creating an experience that is both visually captivating and electrifying in practice. Moreover, the game stands out for its use of graphics to create distinct atmospheres throughout its campaign. Each location you visit has a unique visual identity, adding an extra layer of depth to the narrative. This attention to visual detail not only enhances the game's aesthetics, but also contributes to building a more believable and engaging world. It's this combination of spectacular graphics and dynamic gameplay that makes this one of the most memorable titles of its generation in terms of visuals. In seventh place, we have Days Gone, a game that makes you forget you're holding a controller. The graphics are so incredibly detailed that you can almost feel the cold mountain wind and the warmth of the sun on your skin. The textures are rich and realistic, from the tattered clothes to the dusty roads. When you get lost in the vastness of the map, it's easy to forget that everything you're seeing is just pixels. The developers did an amazing job creating an immersive atmosphere, where every shadow and reflection contributes to a realism that rivals the new generation of consoles. The gameplay, in turn, is only enhanced by these spectacular graphics. Imagine riding a motorcycle at high speed, with the headlights reflecting in the rain puddles that have just formed. It's a visual spectacle that makes every turn feel like a scene from a movie. And when you have to face hordes of enemies, the fluidity of the animations and the clarity of details keep your adrenaline pumping. The realism of the graphics not only beautifies the game, but also enhances the experience, making every battle and chase even more intense. The open world is a mix of beauty and danger, where nature shows its full force. The feeling is of exploring a real place, where every sunset is a work of art, and the changing weather adds an extra layer of challenge. The combination of ultra-realistic graphics with engaging gameplay makes the player feel truly immersed. In 8th place, we have Uncharted 4, a game released in 2016, but even today, its graphics compete with games released this year. Every setting, whether it's a lush jungle or ancient ruins, is rendered with a level of detail that makes you stop to admire the scenery. The richness of visual details, like the dense vegetation and realistic surface textures, creates a visually captivating experience. The graphics aren't just beautiful, they help tell a story, making the world around you feel alive and full of stories to discover. Gameplay is also heavily influenced by this graphical excellence. The fluidity of animations and the precision of light and shadow effects make every moment of exploration and combat more intense and engaging. The visual quality allows the player to interact with the environment in ways that feel natural and realistic, like climbing rocky walls or traversing dense jungles. This integration of cutting-edge graphics with dynamic gameplay makes each adventure an unforgettable experience. The game masterfully uses its graphics to create cinematic action scenes that rival any Hollywood movie. The particle effects, like dust and debris, and the intense action sequences are elevated by a top-tier visual presentation. Every scene is carefully crafted to ensure the player feels immersed in a true epic adventure. With its combination of impressive visuals and thrilling narrative, the game remains a benchmark in terms of graphical quality in the gaming industry. In 9th place, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, which stands out with absolutely stunning graphics, especially considering the vast open world the game offers. Every detail of the environment, from snow-covered mountains to lush forests, is rendered with such precision that you want to explore every corner. The diversity of biomes and the richness of textures create a visually captivating experience, where realism and fantasy meet to form breathtaking landscapes. It's one of those games that sets a new standard for what we expect in terms of graphics in an open-world setting. The gameplay benefits greatly from this visual quality. The clarity of details allows the player to identify threats and opportunities from a distance, while the fluidity of animations makes combat against machines an incredibly satisfying experience. The seamless transitions between different terrains and weather conditions are integrated so naturally that you almost forget you're playing a game. The combination of high-quality graphics with agile and dynamic gameplay makes this title a true masterpiece in terms of immersion. The game uses its graphics to create a rich visual narrative, where every setting tells part of the story of a world devastated and dominated by machines. The vast landscapes and meticulous details of the mechanical creatures contribute to a constant sense of discovery, where each new area explored reveals more about the past and future of this universe. In 10th place, we have Ryse Son of Rome, released in 2013, over a decade ago, a game that didn't achieve massive success but is still widely praised for its exceptional graphics. Every detail, from the gleaming armor of Roman soldiers to the epic battlefields, is rendered with impressive precision. The use of light and shadow is masterful, creating a visual atmosphere that fully immerses the player in ancient Rome. It's a clear example of how cutting-edge graphics can elevate a game's experience, making each scene visually impactful. The gameplay, enriched by these stunning graphics, becomes an even more engaging experience. The intense hand-to-hand combat is given a new dimension with fluid animations and meticulous details in both characters and environments. The battle sequences, with blood and dust rising with each blow, are so realistic that the player can feel the weight and brutality of every confrontation. This fusion of realistic graphics with visceral gameplay makes this a title that continues to be remembered for its visual excellence. Moving on, we have The Order, another game that didn't achieve widespread success, but is remembered for its incredible graphics. Set in an alternate version of London, the game presents visuals that are simply breathtaking. Every detail, from the texture of the characters' clothing to the intricate decorations of the environments, is crafted with an almost cinematic precision. The graphical quality is so high that, at several moments, it's hard to distinguish the game from a movie, making the experience visually impressive. This attention to visual detail is directly reflected in the gameplay. The realistic graphics and fluid animations make every combat and action scene more engaging, while the richly detailed environments increase the player's immersion. The game uses its top-tier graphics to create a unique and immersive atmosphere. The recreation of London with a steampunk fantasy twist is done with such fidelity that it transports the player directly to that era. The lighting, particle effects, and meticulous details of the environments contribute to a powerful visual narrative that complements the story being told. The Order remains a landmark in terms of graphical quality and immersion, solidifying its place as one of the most visually striking games of its generation. In 12th place, we have Project Cars, a game that impresses with its realistic graphics in the racing simulator genre. From the sun's glare reflecting off the asphalt to the raindrops sliding down the cars, every detail is crafted with impressive precision. The visual fidelity is so high that, at many moments, you find yourself questioning whether you're watching a game or a real race broadcast. The lighting effects and vehicle textures are so realistic that they contribute to total immersion in the driving experience. This graphical excellence not only impresses visually, but also elevates gameplay to a new level. The clarity of details in the scenery and vehicles allows the player to feel every curve and terrain change, providing an authentic racing experience. The use of graphics to simulate different weather conditions and times of day is done masterfully. Each race can be a unique experience, depending on the combination of light, shadow, rain, or fog, all reproduced with incredible precision. These details not only enhance the game's aesthetics, but also directly affect the player's strategy, making each race a new opportunity to be amazed by the realism and visual beauty. Continuing, we have another racing game, Forza Horizon 4, which impresses with its graphical quality in a vast open world. The landscapes are stunning, capturing the different seasons with precision, from golden autumn to snow-covered winter. Every detail, from leaves falling off trees to the sunlight reflecting off cars, is crafted with a level of realism that makes each race a visually engaging experience. The dynamic world created is so rich and varied that it invites you to explore every corner, making the most of the high-quality graphics. The graphics play a crucial role in gameplay, where every change in weather conditions and terrain can significantly alter how you drive. The clarity of environmental and vehicle details allows the player to adapt easily, whether on a dry track or a wet and slippery road. This interaction between detailed visuals and dynamic gameplay makes the driving experience not only challenging, but also extremely rewarding. The game uses its graphics exceptionally well to create a vibrant and realistic gaming environment. The transitions between seasons not only change the appearance of the world, but also how you should approach it, bringing a new layer of strategy and immersion. The combination of impressive visuals with a dynamic open world makes this one of the most visually stunning racing experiences available. In 14th place, we have Modern Warfare, a game that stands out for its impressive graphical realism. The attention to detail, from the weapons to the destroyed urban environments, creates a visually striking experience. The lighting, shadows, and reflections are so well crafted that they contribute to total immersion, making the player feel the weight and intensity of each mission. Every scene is designed to look as authentic as possible, elevating the gameplay experience to a level of realism rarely seen in shooters. The graphics not only create an immersive atmosphere, but also directly influence the gameplay. The clarity of visual details allows you to spot threats and opportunities in the environment, whether in a dense forest or on debris-filled streets. This precision makes each battle more tactical and challenging, requiring the player to always be aware of their surroundings. The combination of realistic graphics with fluid gameplay makes each mission an intense and engaging experience. Additionally, the use of cutting-edge graphics helps tell a powerful and emotional story. The characters' facial expressions, realistic explosions, and dynamic environments contribute to a visual narrative that complements the game's plot. This fusion of high-quality visuals with an impactful story makes this one of the most immersive titles in the series, providing an experience that is both thrilling and visually impressive. In 15th place, we have Ghost of Tsushima, a game that dazzles with its visual representation of feudal Japan. The graphics are simply spectacular, capturing the beauty of natural landscapes and historic architecture with an impressive level of detail. From fields of flowers swaying in the wind to snow-covered mountains, each setting is crafted to immerse the player in a visually rich experience. The use of vibrant colors and striking contrasts highlights the unique aesthetic that makes this title a true work of art. This graphical quality has a direct impact on gameplay, where immersion is key. The clarity and realism of the details make the player feel truly part of the game world, whether during a duel at sunset or while exploring an ancient temple. The fluidity of animations and the lighting and shadow effects intensify the experience, making every battle and exploration moment memorable. The balance between stunning visuals and dynamic gameplay makes each journey through feudal Japan as exciting as it is visually breathtaking. The graphics play a crucial role in creating the atmosphere and building the narrative. The vast, detailed landscapes are not just backdrops but integral parts of the story, reflecting the emotional state and challenges faced by the protagonist. Each location visited and each battle fought gain additional depth thanks to the top-tier visual presentation, which transports the player to a world where art and history meet in a masterful way. In 16th place, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a game that impresses with its visual representation of ancient Greece. The graphics are truly stunning, recreating historic landscapes with a precision and richness of detail that transport the player directly into the classical world. From the crystal-clear waters of the Aegean Sea to the towering mountains and vibrant cities, each visual element is crafted with incredible attention to detail. The combination of vast, varied settings with a vibrant color palette makes each exploration a visually engaging experience. The integration of high-quality visuals with fluid and dynamic gameplay makes this title an unforgettable experience. The use of exceptional graphics helps bring the epic narrative to life. The grandiose landscapes and meticulous details in the historic buildings are not just settings, but elements that enrich the story, contributing to total immersion. Each setting explored and every interaction with the world around you gain a new dimension, thanks to the visual presentation that does justice to the majesty of ancient Greece. It's this fusion of a rich narrative with cutting-edge graphics that makes this adventure one of the most impressive of its generation. In 17th place, we have God of War, a visual masterpiece that redefined the standards for graphics in action games. The recreation of the Norse mythological world is absolutely stunning, with snow-covered mountains, dense forests, and ancient temples rendered with an impressive level of detail. Each setting is meticulously crafted to create an epic and immersive atmosphere. The combination of majestic landscapes and meticulous attention to visual details turns the experience into something truly cinematic. This graphical quality not only impresses visually, but also elevates the gameplay to a new level. The clarity of environmental details allows the player to deeply engage in battles, where every move and every strike are executed with impressive fluidity. The realism of the animations and the visual effects intensify the sense of power and control, making each confrontation thrilling and visceral. The union of high-quality graphics and dynamic gameplay makes this adventure something memorable. Additionally, the graphics play a fundamental role in building the narrative. The characters' facial expressions, captured with almost cinematic precision, and the carefully designed environments contribute to an emotionally powerful story. Each location visited, each setting explored, serves to deepen the player's immersion in this mythological world, creating an experience that is both visually stunning and emotionally engaging. Continuing, we have SpiderMan, a game that dazzles with its incredibly detailed graphics, especially in depicting bustling New York. The level of realism in recreating the city is impressive. From the skyscrapers to the lively streets, everything is crafted with a precision that makes the player feel like they're really swinging between buildings. The dynamic lighting and realistic textures make every scene visually spectacular, perfectly capturing the essence of the hero in action. The graphics not only impress, but also contribute to fluid and engaging gameplay. The visual clarity allows the player to perform aerial acrobatics and combat with impeccable precision, taking full advantage of the character's fast and dynamic movements. The realism of the visual effects, such as reflections in windows and real-time shadows, increases immersion, making each battle and swing through the city an electrifying experience. The combination of high-quality visuals and agile gameplay makes this title one of the most exciting and memorable experiences. Additionally, the use of exceptional graphics helps build an engaging narrative. The characters' facial expressions, the fluidity of animations, and the richness of the settings contribute to a story that is as emotional as it is visually impressive. Every corner of the city, every interaction, is enriched by a visual presentation that does justice to the grandeur of the hero's universe. This fusion of impressive graphics and a captivating narrative places this game among the most remarkable in terms of visual quality. And I want to hear from you. Which of these games impressed you the most in terms of graphics? Is there another title that you think should have made this list, but didn't? I know many of these games are now available on the new generation with graphical improvements, but are these upgrades really that significant? When we compare the PS4 generation to the PS3, the graphical difference was enormous. But today, between the current and previous generations, the difference seems much smaller. It makes me wonder, has the current generation already delivered everything it can in terms of graphics? Or will we still see something that will truly surprise us? And more, do we need a new generation of consoles soon? What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think about the future of gaming and whether current technology still has room to evolve or if we're already at the limit of what consoles can offer. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to stay on top of everything happening in the gaming world. Here, you'll always find the best tips and reviews to elevate your gaming experience. To wrap it up, I'm leaving a video in the card with old games that are true masterpieces. Click to watch. I'm sure you'll love it. A big hug, and see you tomorrow.